Sup peeps, my name's Ian. I sell books on eBay and Vinted. This is Bundles of Books. I'm trying not to put a microphone right in front of my face. Welcome to the channel. Welcome back to the channel, whichever one you are. Yeah, and it's been an okay day. An okay 24 hours. I think for the first time in a good few days, I've actually sold more books on eBay than I have in Vinted. Don't know if I've made more money, but I've sold, I think, more books. It's going to be close, but, you know, we're getting there. So I'm going to go through the eBay orders first, because I've done pick up yesterday, so I've got hundreds of books lying about waiting to be listed, which doesn't leave me a huge amount of space to manoeuvre. So I've got the eBay orders here, I'm going to sort them out, and then I'll get the Vinted orders after that. Which means I need to open up the eBay thing so I can actually see what it is I have sold. And we're going to start with all bundles. I have been taking down dozens, hundreds of just single book listings, just getting them off of there, leaving it with just my kind of bundle items. And I don't know, has that made a difference? Is that why I got a few sales in? It still wasn't even £100 day. It just was a wee bit better than usual. So first up we have John Grisham for £17.97, which means eBay give me £15.41, and it'll cost £3.50 to get them posted out. So that's the good kind of eBay sale that I used to like. And we've got a first edition of The Racketeer, nice wee hardcover. Theodore Boone, The Accused, another hardcover, and then two of the vintage paperbacks, those original covers, The Client and The Rainmaker. So that was a nice one to get things started on. Let's pop them down there. Next, we've got Pippa G. What did Pippa G sell for? Pippa G, where are they? Yes, there we go. Philippa Gregory. £9.98 for 3 Pippa G books. A hardcover and 2 paperbacks. So we've got Three Sisters, Three Queens, Wideacre, and a hardcover of The Last Tudor, which again was at a tenner, £3.50 to post. That's been a couple of quid in fees. What did eBay take fees wise? So yeah, making like £4 off of the 3 books. So same kind of money as Vinted. There's really not a big difference between the two for the most part. The John Grisham bundle was better because I charged more for nice first editions like The Racketeer. Right, next I think we've got Rosie Goodwin. Yes, I haven't sold any Rosie Goodwin in a little while, so it's nice to see a bundle going out. And this was 6 Rosie Goodwin books for £15.99, which gives me £12.86. So less £3.50. So it's at £9 thereabouts for the 6 books. That's £1.50 a book. So again, it's Vinted money. It's not anything spectacularly different from that. There's no greater profit for them, all these bread and butters on eBay, than there is in Vinted. The big difference here is to list those 6 books in Vinted would probably take me a good 10 minutes. On eBay it takes me about a minute because it's one of my multi-listings. That's the big difference and where the advantage is with eBay. But as we've said before, if they aren't actually selling, what's the point? But these ones did, so that's good. So 6 of them for a small profit. Next, what have we got next? Oh, we're up to here, which means we've got a Kate Ellis bundle coming next. If I can find it on my list. There she is, £11.69 for 5 Kate Ellis books. This is a pre-made bundle. So I do have a mix. I've got some listings where people can go in and make up their own bundles, and I've got some listings where they don't. I've just put things together. So eBay have given me £9.89 for I say 6 or is it only 5? It's one of 5. 5 Kate Ellis paperbacks. So again, about £6 odd for the 5 is the before cost of goods profit. So I don't know how many times I'll ever say this. The same money as Vinted. But quicker to list. Just when I do them that way. Next, we've got another pre-made bundle. David Nichols this time. So these sold for £8.99. And that means I get £7.52 less £3.50, leaves me with about £4 for 3 paperbacks. We got The Understudy, Us, and Starter for 10. Not an author I pick up very often, but there was 3 really nice condition paperbacks sat on the shelves, so I grabbed them and I put them up as that bundle in the hope that I would actually make some money, and I've made a couple of quid. Right, 2 more eBay orders, 2 more bundles that the buyer has made up themselves, and the first one is Chris Ryan. He seems to, oh no, there he is there, found him. 5 Chris Ryan books, 1, 2, 3, 4. What have I not got? Bad Soldier, Endgame, Nights. I must have put one of these in another bag. Oh no, I know what it is. It's a bag, 2 bags from 2 different units. Anyway, there's only 4 of them here, but I've got the 5th one sat just over there. But 5 Chris Ryan paperbacks for, I think that's £12.99 that'll have been. Where are we? Yeah, £12.99, so £11 and a penny from eBay. But again, £1 odd per book coming back from that lot. So that's not bad. I just need to make sure I put all 5 of them in. Right, final eBay bundle is Santa Montefiore, and there should be 5 of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 5 of them. So that'll be £15, £14.97. Double check. Yep, £14.97. Promoted listings, so I get like a tenner back from eBay on those, which again means kind of £1 a book profit. That's it. I've sold a huge bundle of these in Vinted as well, which you will see shortly. So I need to take more from eBay and stick them onto Vinted to top that part of the listing up. But yeah, that's eBay. So it's like £92 worth of orders, something like that. Which, you know, isn't great, but I think it worked out £54 profit before cost of goods. Obviously, cost of goods need to come off of that as well as all my other fixed costs. But after eBay fees and postage, it's about £54 coming back to me on those ones. So that's a good start. Anyway, I'm going to get this lot out of the way, and then I shall grab the Vinted orders and run through them. Back in a sec. Right. We's back. That only took a moment, obviously. Just to prove it, there's the final Chris Ryan book. So, Night Strike by Chris Ryan. That's the 5. Right, Vinted. What have we got on Vinted? See, not a huge day on Vinted, but still nice enough. And it's not being busy on a Thursday kind of suits me, because I've always got an absolute stack of stuff to do. So on a Thursday, so not spending like 3 hours doing all of this is a good thing. But that aside, it would still be nice to make the sales and run out of time than the other way around. First up, for £4.48. Rosman, Ricardo Osman, The Bullet That Missed and The Man Who Died Twice. Couple of little books there, and like I say, £4. What did I say? Like I say what I said. £4.48 for the 2 of those. And I'm going to have to make a pile to the side of me here now. Right. Not a huge number of sales, but a couple of big bundles, which is always nice. Right, let's do a bundle of 6 next, which sold for £8.65. And that should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go, 6 books. We've got Vampire Academy, I Am Legend, brilliant book. I don't know why they used the Will Smith film on the cover. I've spoken about this previously, right? That's a great book. That really is a great book. But the Will Smith movie, possibly the other ones that were made as well, completely and utterly miss the point of the book. The way they make them, it doesn't work. It has. It should not have. They should not have been allowed to call it I Am Legend. That movie. It's quite an entertaining film. Don't get me wrong, but the book is great. It's got the best last line of any book I have ever read, and yeah, I Am Legend. If you've read it, you know what I'm talking about. It's great. Love it. I only read it last year, and I'm looking forward to reading it again soon because it was just, yeah, it's one of them. Anyway, I Am Legend by Richard Matheson. Fantastic book. Part of that bundle. We've got Dragonfall by L.R. Lamb. A wee bit of dragon fantasy. Paul Hoffman. Left Hand of God. Somebody likes a sci-fi and fantasy here. Because we can now see part human, part vampire, perfect hunter, Damphir by Barb and J.C. Hendy. There you go, it's quite a recent pickup. And Dinner with a Vampire, The Dark Heroine by Abigail Gibbs. Sold that one a couple of times in Vinted already. Not the same book, obviously, but you know, different copies of it. Right, so that was a bundle of 6. And £8 on those. Which means we can now look at a single book. A little book that sold all on its own. This is a story of the little book that could. Sorry, I'm talking mince. Sophie Gravia, Hot Girl Summer. Again, I've sold that a couple of times in Vinted already, so it's another one that my eye now gets drawn to when I see it, because, yep, I know it sells. £1.88 for that one. And then a bundle of 2 for £4.50. Another couple of hardcovers. This time it's Peter May. We've got Lewis Man and the Chessman, the Chessmen, which is 2 parts of the Lewis Man trilogy. So the Black House is the third one. Don't know if I've got that in hardcover, but anyway, that's, yeah, says it right there, best-selling author of the Black House, so that'll be the first one in the trilogy. So yeah, 2 of them, £4.50 balance. And that leaves me with the final order, which sold for, I think it was £20. £20.42 for 13 books. 13 books, and I've already mentioned these. Can you remember what I said? You know, testing the old grey matter. Santa. It's Santa Claus. Christmas books. Or summer books. Santa Montefiore. Montefiore. Fiore. So, big bundle there. So we sold 5 on eBay and 13 there. Similar kind of money. I think I've probably made a wee bit more per book on eBay, but I've sold more of them in Vinted. So yeah, but everything from An Italian Girl in Brooklyn. I need to find somewhere else to purchase these. Right, I'll just pop it back down there. The Temptation of Gracie. Flappy Entertains. The Secret Whores. What was that? Wait for Me. Distant Shores. Here and Now. Last Voyage of the Valentina. Yes, Valentina. I'm assuming she's Valentina. Daughters of Castle Deverell. Secrets of the Lighthouse. The Forget-Me-Not Sonata. The Beekeeper's Daughter. And The House by the Sea. So Santa has been quite popular over the last 24 hours. I've got dozens more Santa books. I'll be pulling them from the unit in the next few days and get a whole load more of them listed up. I think I've only got like 2 left out of all the ones that I listed. So I went through my paperbacks and I took out 1 copy of each of the paperbacks that I had and got them listed. There's a few of those I only had 1 copy of, but there's most of them I've got multiple copies, so I'll just grab another copy of each, get them listed up, and just keep doing that. And I've also got a big bundle of hardcovers as well, so I'm going to do the same with that now that I've had a wee bit of traction on Santa Montefiore books selling. And that's the sales. That is the sales. See, I don't have a lot of time this morning to go through much else, but having said that, there was a few comments. Where were they? Where was it, man? Let's click that button off. Yes, Sue. What are you talking about, man? Enough said. eBay search stuff. Not eBay, the Vinted search stuff. So a few people have asked for, what am I on Vinted? So I'm kinning, no numbers, just kinning. But when you search under members, it doesn't come up. I don't know if that's because I'm on the pro rather than the normal one, and something comes into play there. But I discovered last night, just doing it, if you just go into the normal item search, don't select any categories or anything, but just type in Kinnon, Kinnon there, then all my stuff appears. So I don't know why or how that happens, but that's how you'll find me on Vinted, apparently. There was also another suggestion about sticking like a prefix onto each listing so that people could find my books. So I tried it. I went into one of the listings I had and I just stuck on BX at the end. So rather than a prefix, I put it on as a suffix and then typed in, I think, the name of that author and BX, and that book appeared top. The title and BX, and that book appeared top. So that might something I'll have a look at. It does seem like quite a good idea for if people want to find stuff from me. I'm not going to go back through the 1,200 live listings and do that with all of them. It would just be way too much work. But going forward, I'll maybe stick that in. But I'll let you know later on in the week whether or not I've gone ahead and done that. I'm doing some listing later this afternoon, so that should get something going there. Who was that? That was Mike Barnes. Yeah, cheers, Mike. That was a good idea. Nick, Beowulf arrived. Glad to hear it. Again, apologies for the total delay in getting that there. And there's a question from somebody. What was it? Yeah, the ISBN numbers on Vinted. There's a few books where I just put in the 10 zeros because there's no ISBN number that Vinted will recognise. But for the most part, how I've been doing my Vinted listings on the wee laptop, I will type in title, description, select the category, price, parcel size, etc., condition, and then I save that, so it's just waiting for photos and the ISBN number. And so I'll put one in and I'll put it at the pile, and once I've got like 40 or 50 in the pile in that order, I go to the phone and the first draft copy will be the last book that I put in the details for. So I then just go through them all again, take my pictures and scan in the ISBN at that point. So it takes an extra few seconds, but it's quicker to just scan in the ISBN number than it is to, even type in 10 zeros. Sometimes it just won't recognise a number and I just have to go with that. So there is a book that has all that as the ISBN number. So there's going to be quite a few copies of that kicking about on Vinted, I would imagine, if you were to search by ISBN. But yeah, so most of the time I do, just because it's as quick and easy as scanning the barcode. But let's say if there's no barcode, the barcode's not been recognised, I often just don't bother with that side of it. So yeah, Money Mental. Cheers! Where were we? What was it? Oh, there's Nick again. Huron as opposed to Huron. So that's the GRR token. It just looks like it should be Huron. I don't know. Huron around, that means something completely different, doesn't it? So best not going with that one. But tokens language always needs pronunciation lessons for me and probably many, many others. Where are we? There's something else here. Yeah, there we go. Sycophants. Just having the same issue as me and many others. So got in excess of £15,000 worth of books listed on eBay, and today's sales are £8.64. Just under 400 books listed in Vinted, and the day's sales at that point were £110. Yeah, it just doesn't make sense, does it? You know, those 400 books, if you had them on eBay, even if you were charging a tenner a book, it's still £4,000 worth, which means that you're going to get £2 worth of sales out of it. I mean, it doesn't make sense. So yeah, Vinted. Yeah, I think that's where we got to. There was a question a few days ago from Hyperstarter7625. What does postage look like? How do you get cheap postage? How much time does it take to source and deliver them to? I think I understand what you're asking. Postage looks like the service that you use. You can use, I mean, talking about eBay, where you can choose which ones you're going to use, Every, Yodel, Royal Mail, blah, there's others, DPD, you know, so you just need to look and see what it's going to cost you through eBay to buy your postage for each of those things, and that's simply what it looks like. Make sure you know what weight you're going to be shipping before you list an item. I use Royal Mail for eBay 99% of the time. If it's under 2 kilos and it fits in a kind of shoebox, big shoebox size package, then it's £3.39 for 48-hour tracked delivery, which seems to work well. If it's more than 2 kilos, up to 10 kilos, then it's, I think, £6.65, sorry, which is an awful lot more. So try and keep it under 2 kilos or make it worth your while and make it big bundles and go way beyond it. And I just buy all my postage for that through eBay on the site. You know, you just select the items you want to post, click get postage now, and then you just need to put in the weights and make sure you've selected the right service, and that's it, done. Print off your labels and you're away. So that's how I would get cheaper postage. I did approach Every last year when the eBay numbers were getting really good and the package volumes were increasing every day. So I approached Every to say, right, well, what's the deal? If I've got X number of packages every day that need collected and shipped, what kind of discount can you give me? And they very generously came back and offered to charge me more than I currently pay on eBay. Fair enough, that includes dropping them off, but the extra 5-10 minutes to go and drop them off was not worth sacrificing, getting that the wrong way around, for all the additional costs. I mean, it was like an extra 60 pence a package they were wanting to charge me to do the whole collection thing. So if you're doing big volume, you know, getting into the hundreds a day, then it's worth setting up a contract with one of these courier firms. Otherwise, make sure you know where you can drop parcels off and do that. Find your one which works easiest for you and just run around that. What was the final part of that? Sourcing, yes. Sourcing, for me, just now, it doesn't take me long to do much sourcing. I've got a few really good contacts where I can go on quite a regular basis and pick up big volumes of books for a pretty low price. I've spoken about it many times, and I know not everybody has that same access. Different parts of the country have different prices and availability, you know, all of these things. So sourcing, you need to just work out what works for you. Whatever it is you want to sell, find somewhere good, develop that relationship, and hopefully that'll stand you in good stead moving forward. But I know it can take people hours to source what I can pick up in an hour, and there will be others who will find it even easier than me. You know, they could have 1,000 books dropped off at their door and pay pennies in them if they're playing the game right and they know what they're doing. But the reason I'm able to source like that is just, you know, working on those relationships, developing that network. Tell people what you do. Some people like wrinkle their nose up in disgust and will never speak to you again because you're taking money from those charities. Bollocks, you are not. But a lot of shops, especially if it's like high volume stuff that they get that they cannot get cleared and sold, and there's a lot of clothes come under that category as well, toys, games, everything. If they know that you can come in regularly and clear out a load of their stock, then you will get access to it. You know, they'll make a point of making sure that it's there for you to do that, and all you have to do is pay for it. So that works well. But I mean, I was going to look this up and I forgot to see how much I'd actually spent in the charity shops towards charities on book stock in the last year, but I didn't get around to it. But typically, £150 to £200 a week I'll spend on stock. That's a kind of typical week, and that's a lot of books, a lot of books. When they don't sell, that wee dry spell on eBay, I've ended up with an awful lot more in storage than I would like, but we'll get that thinned down. But that's typically what I put into them. So, you know, if it was even £100 a week, that's what, £5 a year you're giving into the charities. So if you've got a handful of places, then that's a contribution they will appreciate. You know, there's absolutely no doubt about it. If everything you buy can have a gift aid sticker on it as well, then they're getting an extra, 25% on top of that. So, you know, it's all good. But that's the sourcing side. You've just got to work around until you find the places that work for you and where you can work for them. And it might not be the 3B shops that are local to you. It might be something further away, but that further away one becomes worth it because, let's say, you can build that relationship, get that network going, and get a lot of stock in a short period of time. The other part of that, again, I've spoken about this in previous videos, I know, but by niching down, because all I do is pick up books, that's all I need to look at when I go into the shops. So I can go to the books and I can quickly scan through them and see if there's anything there that suits my needs. So if it looks like it's in good condition, that's where my eye catches it first. Then, is it an author that sells? Or does it look like a book title that is in a type that sells? I mean, a good example of that was it Sophie Gravia book that we had? Where was it? Yeah, so that one. So I see that sitting, it's in good condition. Pick it out, make sure that the rest of it is actually in good condition. It's a kind of romance, feel-good book. These sell. I know these sell. They don't sell for big money, but I know they sell, so therefore I will pick that book up and see what happens with it. And there you go, it worked, but it wasn't an author that I was familiar with, wasn't a title I was familiar with, but the condition and the type of book were enough to just lead me in that direction. So yeah, that's the whole sourcing piece. Anyway, I didn't mean to spend that much time talking about these things, but I hope some of that's helpful. And yeah, that's all. So that was day 51 of selling books on Vinted and eBay, or eBay and Vinted, or VBay. Ebinted. I'm not even going to try go any further with that one. Thanks for watching as ever. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, tell us how you're getting on in your reselling enterprise or anything else to do with books at all. And I shall see you tomorrow. Cheers. Bye bye. Click.